We've talked it over. You're no longer part of this family. Liam said it calmly, as if reading the weather forecast. 11 people sat around the table, all staring at Maria. Plates of salad, a sweating pitcher of iced tea, a carved turkey she had roasted that very morning. 10 years of marriage. Their anniversary. And this was her gift. The house belonged to Liam, his grandma had left it to him. But Eleanor, Liam's mother, had gotten so used to calling it hers over the past decade, she believed it herself. What did you say? Maria didn't even raise her voice. She simply didn't understand. You heard me. Liam pushed his chair back and stood up. We decided this without drama. Like civilized people. Eleanor sat at the head of the table, hands folded on the tablecloth, nodding slowly, with dignity, as if she had been waiting her whole life for this evening. My son is right, she said. Enough. We've suffered enough. Liam's aunt, his cousin, some distant relatives, everyone fell silent. Someone looked down at their plate. No one was surprised. And that was the most terrifying thing of all. No one was surprised. Are you all in on this? Maria looked around at them. Is this some kind of play? It's not a play. Sweetheart. Eleanor said Maria's name so sweetly. A shiver ran down her spine. It's the truth. You're an outsider in this family and always have been. Maria stood, her legs like jelly, her ears ringing. Liam. Let's go talk. Just us. There's nothing to talk about. He didn't even turn to her. He poured himself some iced tea, drank it in one gulp. I'll help you pack your things tomorrow. What things? This is my home too. Eleanor smirked. A smirk she'd practiced 1,000 times in the mirror. Honey. You came here with one suitcase, you'll leave with one. Whatever you earned is yours. Someone at the table chuckled. Liam's cousin, Kevin, poured himself another drink and muttered. Finally. Some normalcy. Maria felt her cheeks burn. Not from shame, but from rage. 10 years, she said quietly. I slaved for all of you for 10 years. Who emptied your mother's bedpans when she threw out her back? Who stayed up all night? Oh. Please. Don't start. Eleanor interrupted. Nobody asked you. You pushed yourself forward, trying to earn favors. And then Maria understood. This wasn't an argument, it was a verdict. Prepared. Discussed behind her back. Delivered with witnesses, so she'd have nowhere to turn. Fine. Maria exhaled. And where am I supposed to go? I have no family here. No place to stay. You know that perfectly well. That's your problem now. Liam finally looked at her. And there was nothing in his eyes. Empty. Mom's right. Every man for himself. Mom says. Maria repeated bitterly. Have you ever said anything yourself in your life without her? Liam flinched. But Eleanor placed her hand on his arm. Don't react. Som? See, she's clearly a snake. I'm a snake. Maria stepped towards her. But I've done so much for you all. Sit down, Eleanor snapped. Her voice instantly changing from honeyed to iron. Who do you think you are? Giving orders in my house, look at her. The guests shifted uncomfortably. Liam's Aunt Brenda quietly said. Eleanor. Maybe not in front of everyone. And why not in front of everyone? Eleanor turned to her. Let everyone see. Let them know who we tolerated for 10 years. I've been saying it for ages, she's not right for our Liam. I saw it from the very beginning. Maria stood in the middle of the kitchen, feeling as if the floor were giving way beneath her. Eleanor looked up at her and smiled triumphantly. And in that smile, Maria read, I've waited 10 years for this. And I got it. Maria spent the night in the kitchen. She couldn't bring herself to go to the bedroom. Liam was sleeping there, turned to the wall, as if nothing had happened. She sat on a stool by the window, looking out into the yard. Somewhere, a dog barked, the refrigerator hummed. Before dawn, the door creaked open. Eleanor shuffled in her bathrobe, turned on the kettle, and took out her special cup. The one with the golden rim that no one else was allowed to touch. "Can't sleep?" she asked, without turning around. Understandable. A guilty conscience. "I suppose." "Eleanor. Why are you doing this to me?" Eleanor poured hot water, dropped in a tea bag, stirred, and sat opposite Maria. "Did you think I didn't notice?" she said quietly. "How you bend my son to your will, how you turn him against me. He used to call me every day from work. Now it's once a week. That's you. You're doing." "I never silence." Eleanor sipped her tea. "I'm his mother. I raised him alone for 20 years. Alone. Without a husband. Without help. And you just waltzed in. And you think I'll give him to you. I won't." Maria had heard that phrase, "raised him alone without a husband," 1,000 times in 10 years. It was the main anthem of that house. Saint Eleanor. Abandoned by her scoundrel husband. Left with an infant. Who ran off with another woman and was never seen again. This was brought up at every meal. In every argument. For any reason. "Your father was a womanizer," she'd tell little Liam. "He left us. Remember. All men are like that. Only your mother truly loves you." And Liam remembered it perfectly. He hated the father he didn't remember. He despised the very word father. And he was so attached to his mother that Maria, in 10 years, had never been able to break that bond. "You know what bothers me about you," Eleanor continued, warming her hands on the cup. "You're proud. You don't bow your head. But I did. I endured everything. And you should have. But you held your head high. I just wouldn't let myself be humiliated." "Oh. That's it." Eleanor jabbed a finger. "You wouldn't let yourself come. But you should have. Family is about endurance. I endured. But you didn't. Which is why you're leaving." She finished her tea, stood up, rinsed her cup, and placed it upside down on the shelf. At the door, she turned around. "And another thing. I've already prepared your suitcase in the attic. The one you came with. Take your time packing. I'm not a monster. Until the end of the week." In the morning, Liam left for work without a word. Maria was left alone in the apartment with Eleanor. And that was the worst part. Eleanor launched into a flurry of activity. First, she called her sister, Gail. "It's finally happening. We're kicking her out." "Yes. She won't leave on her own. Can you believe it? She's clinging on." "Oh well. We'll help her." Then, she called the neighbor on the 3rd floor. "Tony. Did you hear Liam is divorcing her?" "Yes. I'm glad. We've suffered enough with her. So much pride. I'm so much attitude. And between you and me, she can't even cook." Maria heard every word through the thin wall. And every word was a lie. She was the one who cooked in that house. She was the one who cleaned. Eleanor only gave orders and drank tea from her special rimmed cup. "Why are you lying?" Maria stepped into the hallway. "I hear everything." "Why are you lying to people?" Eleanor covered the receiver with her hand. "And why are you eavesdropping? Where are your manners?" Then back into the phone. "Yes. It's hair. She's already causing a scene. See, she's just like that. All right. Tony. Kiss kiss." She hung up and turned to Maria, hands on her hips. "If you interfere, You'll make things worse for yourself. I'll make your life so miserable you'll run out of here yourself. Understood. By lunchtime. Eleanor's sister. Gail. Arrived. Just as loud. In a leopard print blouse. From the doorway. She wailed. Well. Where is she? This one, where's our princess? They both sat in the kitchen and began to dissect Maria as if she weren't even in the apartment. Loudly. With relish. With laughter. I told Liam right away. Eleanor announced. She's not the one. Her eyes dart around. She probably cheated on him while he was at work. You don't say, Gail gasped. Cheated. Really? Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised. Quiet. Quiet. But still waters run deep. You know who? Maria stood behind the door, clenching her fists. This was no longer just rudeness. This was a campaign. Eleanor was systematically portraying her as a loose woman. Ungrateful. And quarrelsome. So that Liam would believe it. And the relatives. And the neighbors. So that the divorce would look like a liberation. She walked into the kitchen. I haven't cheated on anyone. And you know it. Oh. Look. She appeared. Gail drawled. What? Does the truth hurt? What truth? That's a lie from the first word to the last. Prove it now. Eleanor shrugged and smiled at her sister. See, they're all like that. First they cheat. Then it's lies. Lise. Gail didn't leave until evening. Loaded down with a pie that who would doubt it Maria had baked the day before. As a farewell, Eleanor and her sister hugged at the door. And Eleanor deliberately, loudly, so her daughter-in-law would hear, said, Don't worry, Gail. It won't be long now. We'll sweep out the infection. And we'll live well. The door closed. Eleanor returned to the kitchen where Maria was doing dishes and stood behind her. Did you hear infection? That's about you. I heard. Maria didn't turn around. You were loud. And why should I be quiet? Eleanor took an apple from the table. Took a bite. I have nothing to hide. This is my house. I'll yell if I want to. Maria turned off the water and turned around. Eleanor. What have I done wrong to you in 10 years? Just tell me straight. Ohms. Eleanor chewed. Staring at her. Swallowed. And said calmly. Almost lazily. You were born, that's enough. And seeing her daughter-in-law's face falter, she added with pleasure. Nobody needs you here. Not me. Not Liam. The sooner you understand that, the easier it will be for you. She threw the apple core into the sink over the clean dishes, and left. Shuffling her slippers. Maria stood and stared at the core in the clean plate. A small thing, but for some reason, this small thing brought a lump to her throat more than all the shouting. The next day began with Maria's documents going missing. She kept them in the dresser. In her drawer, her passport. Work ID. Some certificates. She looked in the morning. And the drawer was empty. Only lingerie. Eleanor. Where are my documents? Eleanor sat in front of the TV. Drinking her tea. How should I know? Maybe you misplaced them yourself. Amnesia isn't just for old people. They were always in the drawer. Who took them? What are you implying? Eleanor slowly turned around. That I'm a thief in my own house. Repeat that. I'm not implying anything. I'm asking where my documents are. And I'm telling you, I haven't seen them. Eleanor stared back at the TV. And anyway, it's even better without documents. You won't get far. And that's when it hit Maria. This was no longer just an argument. Eleanor had taken her passport to tie her down. To deprive her of the ability to leave on her own terms. To arrange something. To go somewhere. so that Maria would be completely at her mercy. Without papers, without money, without a place to stay. Give me back my passport, Maria said quietly. Otherwise, I don't know what I'll do. Oh, please, Eleanor didn't turn around. She's going to scare me. She's going to do something. Go wash the floors. Since you're still living here, at least you'll be some use. Maria didn't argue. She realized shouting wouldn't accomplish anything here. Eleanor was stronger. For now, she had the house, her son, relative, neighbors, and now, Maria's passport. Maria had nothing. All day she moved through the apartment quietly, like a shadow, cooking and cleaning mechanically, but all the while thinking. And the more she thought, the clearer she saw one strange thing. Eleanor was pushing the infidelity angle too hard. Cheated. Still, waters run deep. Used him. Where an ordinary woman would say we grew apart, or I got tired. Eleanor stubbornly crafted the image of a loose woman, as if this were her favorite. Rehearsed role. As if she knew exactly what such stories looked like from the inside. In the evening, when Eleanor fell asleep in front of the TV, her mouth slightly open, her glasses slipped down, Maria heard her mumbling in her sleep. Indistinctly. In snatches. And then suddenly, clearly, I won't let him. I won't give him away. He's mine. Maria froze. I won't give him away. He's mine. Who was he, Liam? Or someone else? From a long-forgotten past, Eleanor gasped, twitched, woke up, and stared at Maria with sleep-fogged eyes. Why are you standing over me? She grumbled, adjusting her glasses. You scared me. Walking around like a ghost. Did you have a dream? Maria said. You were talking in your sleep. Eleanor tensed. Something flickered across her face. What was I saying? She asked sharply. What? I won't give him away. He's mine. Eleanor turned pale, straightened up, and almost shouted. Nonsense, I didn't say anything. Get out of here. But Maria had already seen it. She had touched a nerve. Without knowing how. She had hit a raw spot. And in that he's mine lay something Eleanor was still afraid of. In the evening, Liam returned. And Maria saw that his mother had already worked on him. Probably by phone earlier in the day. He walked in. Distant. Cold. Mom says you were causing trouble all day. Liam. She's lying. She told her sister I was cheating on you. It's a lie. You know it's a lie. I don't know anything anymore. He sat down, untying his shoes. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Smoke, Maria gasped. 10 years, that's smoke. Have I ever given you a reason? Don't yell at me. He threw his shoe into a corner. You're both driving me crazy. Mom says one thing. You say another. My head is splitting. Then don't believe your mother. Believe your own eyes. You know me. I've known my mother longer than you have. Liam stood up. She raised me alone. She wouldn't lie to me. And there it was. She raised me alone. The very foundation on which everything rested. The sacred cow of that house. Against it, Maria had nothing. Eleanor floated out of the room. Satisfied. C'est son? She's trying to stir things up again. My poor boy. Come. I'll warm up some food for you. I'll take care of you. Unlike some people. And she led him away. And her arm around his shoulders, casting a brief, triumphant glance at Maria. The next day, Eleanor moved on to Maria's belongings. Maria came home from the store. She had just gone for bread. just to get out of those walls for half an hour. But in the hallway were cardboard boxes, her books, hair winter boots, framed photographs. "What's this helping you pack?" Eleanor replied unflappably. "Taping up a box." "Why drag it out? I'm being nice." "Don't touch my things." Maria rushed to the boxes, and then saw Eleanor holding her jewelry box. A small wooden one. Inside was her mother's ring. The only thing she had left of her loved one. "Give it back, that's my mom's." "What do you need it for?" Eleanor twirled the box. "That gold isn't worth much. I thought maybe you'd leave it as payment for living with us for 10 years. On our backs." "On your backs," Maria snatched the box. "I carried this house. Give it back." "Or what? Or what?" Eleanor stepped closer. She smelled of valerian and mothballs. "So? Or what? Are you going to hit an old woman? Go ahead. With witnesses. It'll only help my case." And that's when Maria understood why the boxes were in the hallway. Why the jewelry box? Why the provocation? Eleanor wanted her to snap. To push her. To yell. So there would be proof. So Liam would have something to hold against her. Maria slowly lowered her hands. "You won't get it," she said quietly. "I won't give you that satisfaction." Eleanor narrowed her eyes. For the first time in days, something resembling respect flickered across her face, and then instantly disappeared. Maria didn't sleep again that night. She lay on the very edge of the bed, turned away from Liam, and thought. Something in this whole story didn't add up. Eleanor was acting too confidently, too aggressively, as if she wasn't just trying to get rid of her daughter-in-law, but was afraid of something. In a hurry. Why be in a hurry if Maria had nowhere to go anyway? And then there was that phrase, cheated on him. Eleanor repeated it with a particular emphasis. She knew that topic too well. She lied too smoothly. In the morning, when Liam left and Eleanor dozed off in front of the TV, Maria went into her room. Her heart pounded. She had never entered here without permission. It was taboo. The room smelled of medicine and old powder. On the wall were photographs. Little Liam. Liam in school. Liam in the army. But not a single one with his father. Not a single male photograph at all. As if his father had been erased. Cut out. On the dresser was Eleanor's jewelry box. Larger than Maria's. Upholstad invånvelde. Maria gently opened the lid beads. Earrings. Some papers. Yellowed notes. And at the very bottom, an old, crumpled envelope with a faded stamp. Addressed in faded ink. Maria took it. And at that moment, a voice from the hallway called out. "What are you doing in there?" Maria barely had time to slip the envelope into her robe pocket. "I was looking for your pills." She lied. "Coming out. You said your blood pressure was up yesterday." Eleanor stood in the doorway, staring at her intently. "In my room?" Without permission, her voice trembled. "Get out of here. Now. And don't let your feet ever step in here again." She practically shoved Maria into the hallway and slammed the door. Maria could hear things being moved. Checked inside. Eleanor had clearly rushed to the jewelry box. A minute later, the door burst open again. Eleanor's face was white. "Did you take something?" she almost hissed. "Confess." "What did you take?" "I didn't take anything." Maria looked her straight in the eyes. "What is there to take from you, mothballs?" Eleanor didn't believe her. It was obvious. But she couldn't search her daughter-in-law either. There was no reason. She paced. I bit her lips. Then said with hatred, "Pack your things. You have until Saturday. And keep quiet. And if you go where you shouldn't, it will be worse." Maria went into the bathroom, locked the door, and pulled out the envelope with trembling hands. Inside was a sheet folded in quarters and a photograph. The photo showed a young Eleanor, and next to her, a tall man in a light shirt. He held a baby in his arms and smiled. And on the back, a faded ink inscription, Victor. Remember us? Liam and me. Summer. Maria unfolded the letter. The handwriting was masculine. Firm. But in places the letters trembled. As if the person had written in great agitation. She read it once. Then again. And her breath caught. It was a letter from Liam's father. The very one who had supposedly abandoned them. But the letter told a completely different story. He wrote that he had looked for them. That he had come. That he had stood outside their door but wasn't allowed in. And that Eleanor had taken their son away. Changed her address. And given no sign of where she was. That he had sent letters for years. And they all came back. This last one, apparently, had reached her. But had ended up at the bottom of the jewelry box. Hidden from Liam. I never left you. Isson. It said at the end. They told me you didn't want to know me. If you ever read this, find me. I waited every day. Maria sat on the edge of the tub. Unable to move. The entire legend of that house. The entire foundation on which Eleanor had built her power. Was crumbling in her hands. It wasn't his father who had abandoned them. It was Eleanor who had taken her son away and hidden him. And all her life, she had portrayed her husband as a monster to tie Liam to her forever. There was a knocking at the door. Have you been in there for an hour? Eleanor's voice. Come out. What are you doing in there? Maria looked at the letter. At the photograph. And for the first time in those terrible days, she understood she didn't just hold a piece of paper in her hands, she held the truth. And this truth was stronger than all the boxes in the hallway. Coming, Maria shouted. She folded the letter. Hid it inside her robe. Flushed the toilet for show. And came out. Eleanor stood opposite her. Breathing heavily. You found something, she said. It was no longer a question. I can see it in your eyes. What did you find? Nothing. Maria walked past her. My head started hurting. So I just sat down. You're lying. Eleanor grabbed her sleeve. Her fingers dug in painfully. Give me back what you took from my room. Let go. Maria pulled her arm away. You'll bruise me. And then you'll say, I did it myself. Eleanor stopped. Looked around as if checking for witnesses. And lowered her voice. Listen to me carefully. She hissed. I don't know what you're imagining. But if you're planning anything against me, forget it. Liam will believe me. Not you. He always has and always will. You're nobody to him. I'm his mother. Mother. Maria repeated softly. Yes. An interesting word. And something in her voice made Eleanor flinch. For the first time in 10 years. Maria wasn't afraid of Eleanor. It was the other way around. Eleanor felt it and became truly frightened. What are you saying? She mumbled. Backing away. Are you completely insane? But Maria was already heading for the exit. She needed time. And she needed to find a man named Victor. Maria left the house and walked to the park by the bus stop. She sat on a bench. Took out her phone. Her hands were shaking. There was no return address on the envelope. Only a name. Victor. And a last name. Half erased. But readable. She typed what she could decipher into a search engine. She added the city. The one briefly mentioned in the letter. For several hours. She called. Searched. Hit dead ends. The address from the letter was old. The man hadn't lived there for a long time. But Maria didn't give up. She called information services. posted in neighborhood groups. Asked around. And closer to evening. A voice answered. An elderly woman. A former neighbor of that house. Victor, yes. I remember him. He was a good man. Just unlucky. His wife left him. Took their child away. He pined for his son. Kept sending letters. Grew old. Maria's throat tightened. Where is he now? How can I find him? Well, he remarried later. He had a daughter. He lives with her now. Not far from here. I can ask for her number if you need it. Who are you to him? Maria faltered. I'm his son, Liam's wife. Silence hung on the line. Then the woman said quietly. Liam's, oh my God. He spent his whole life. Wait. Honey? I'll find out everything now. And call you back? Maria lowered the phone. Her heart pounding. Somewhere in this city lived an old man who had waited for his son for over 20 years. And meanwhile, his son adored the mother who had separated them. The phone rang 20 minutes later. When Maria returned home, it was already dark. Lights were on in the windows, meaning Liam was home. And judging by the voices, his mother was again whispering poison in his ear. Maria went up. Opened the door with her key. Both Liam and Eleanor were sitting in the kitchen. Papers were on the table. Ah. She's back. Eleanor flared up. Where have you been all day, Liam? Ask here. Where was she? Where were you? Liam asked reluctantly. Out with someone walking around. Maria replied calmly, taking off her jacket. Thinking. Hear that Eleanor clapped her hands. Walking around, I told you. She's out walking around. And we're here like fools. Eleanor. Maria hung up her jacket and turned around. Tell Liam about his father. The kitchen fell silent. Eleanor froze. What? Liam asked. I'm talking about your father. Maria said. Ask your mother. Maria looked at Eleanor. How he abandoned you, tell us. Eleanor. In more detail. Eleanor's face became blotchy. You? You're doing this suddenly, her voice broke. What father? He doesn't have a father. He left us and vanished. Why dig all this up? Vanished. Maria tilted her head. Or maybe he wasn't allowed in. Shut up, Eleanor shrieked, making Liam flinch. Shut up right now, don't you dare. Don't you dare talk about that. Liam looked from his wife to his mother. What's going on, Mom? Why are you shouting? Nothing. She's lying. It's all lies. Eleanor jumped up, knocking over a stool. You viper, I knew you were planning something nasty. Liam. Don't listen to her. She made it all up. I didn't make anything up. Maria didn't raise her voice. And because of that, her words hit even harder. Liam. Your mother really doesn't want us to talk about your father. See how nervous she is. Ask yourself why. Because he abandoned us, Eleanor shrieked. How many times he abandoned us? Left. Never came back. What about the letters? Maria asked quietly. Eleanor seemed to stumble. Stopped mid-sentence. Opened her mouth and found nothing to say. What letters? Liam asked slowly. Standing up. Mom. What letters? None. There are no letters. Eleanor shook her head. She's filling your head with nonsense. Get her out of here. Get her out now. But Liam was already looking at his mother differently. For the first time in his life. With doubt. Why are you so scared? He asked. If he just left. What's there to be scared of? I'm not scared. Eleanor's voice became whiny. Hysterical. I'm indignant. She's interfering in our family. In our past. Liam. I raised you alone. Alone, and you won't listen to your mother. You'll listen to this serpent. And here. For the first time, Liam didn't rush to comfort her. Mom. Sit down, he said quietly, and calm down. What do you mean? Sit down, Eleanor gasped. Who are you raising your voice to? Your mother. I'm not raising my voice. I'm asking. Liam turned to Maria. Tell me what you found. Maria remained silent. She deliberately didn't take out the letter. Not now. If she revealed everything at once, Eleanor would shout fake. Lise. She'd confuse and twist everything. No. Let Liam first feel for himself that his mother was lying. I'm not going to say anything, Maria said. Let Mom tell you. Eleanor. Where is Liam's father now? Do you know? Honestly? I don't know, Eleanor shrieked. He's probably been dead for a long time. Good riddance. Dead. Maria raised an eyebrow. Are you sure? Yes. Sure. Eleanor gripped the edge of the table. Enough. I don't want to hear any more of this. Liam. Either you kick her out, or what? Mom. Liam looked at her directly. Finish your sentence. Eleanor stopped short. She realized she had gone too far. That for the first time in 30 years, her son was looking at her, not as an icon, but as a person hiding something. I'm tired. She choked out. Changing tactics. Her voice trembled. Tears instantly welled up on command. I've done so much for you alone. And you two against me. An old, sick woman. She started crying. Habitually. Skillfully. This tactic had worked for 30 years. But this time, Liam didn't approach. Tears later. Mom, he said harshly. First answer me. Were there letters from Dad or not? No, Eleanor sobbed. There were no letters, oh God. Why me then? You have nothing to fear. Maria said. Tomorrow everything will be revealed. Eleanor froze. What will be revealed? What do you mean? Tomorrow. She wiped her tears. And instead of them, fear flared in her eyes. What have you planned? You wicked woman, nothing special. Maria walked towards the kitchen exit. Just that tomorrow. Something will arrive. And then we'll all talk together. What will arrive? Eleanor lunged after her. Wait, what have you done? Liam, stop her. She's done something, but Maria had already closed the bedroom door behind her. That night, no one in the apartment really slept. Through the wall, Maria heard Eleanor alternating between crying and whispering fiercely to Liam. She heard Liam's short, heavy replies. She heard the bed creak. She heard someone going to the kitchen and back. Eleanor felt something was wrong. For 30 years, everything had been solid. And suddenly it was cracking. She didn't know exactly what Maria had found. But she knew she had found something. And that knowledge wouldn't let her close her eyes. And Maria lay and waited for morning. Because during the day, the former neighbor had arranged everything. And tomorrow, the truth was supposed to arrive itself. On its own 2 feet. In the hands of a living person, the doorbell rang early in the morning. Eleanor, who hadn't slept all night, rushed to open it first. As if sensing something, she flung open the door and froze. Standing on the doorstep was an elderly man. Tall. Gray-haired. In a light shirt. Just like in that photograph. Only 30 years older. In his hands, he held an old folder. Next to him was a middle-aged woman. His daughter. Eleanor turned pale. Her lips trembled. You? She gasped. Where did you come from? Hello. Eleanor. The man said quietly. You've been hiding for a long time. Liam came out of the room. Still groggy in his t-shirt. Who is it? Mom, the man turned to him. His hands trembling. Liam. His voice broke. Son? Oh my God. How you've grown. Liam frowned, looking from the guest to his mother. Mom? Who is this? Eleanor was silent. For the first time in her life, she was silent. Standing, gripping the doorframe, unable to utter a single word. I'm your father, the man said. Victor. I've been looking for you for 28 years. A dead silence hung in the hallway. Liam looked at him, and his face slowly changed. That's impossible, he mumbled. Dodd left us. He left. Mom told me my whole life I didn't leave. Victor said firmly. They wouldn't let me in. He's lying, Eleanor finally burst out. Liam. Don't listen to him, she put him up to it. Eleanor pointed a finger at Maria. It's all her. She found some old man. Paid him. Brought him here, an imposter. He's an imposter. Victor opened his folder. Took out a stack of yellowed, string-bound letters. Dozens of letters. I wrote to you for 20 years. Eleanor. To every address I could find. And they kept coming back. Look. See. All stamped, addressee unknown. That was you. Making yourselves unknown. Every time I found you. You took our son and moved. He extended the letters to Liam. Liam took them with trembling hands. Began to sort through the envelopes. The dates. The addresses. The cities where they had lived. Moving around. His own name. Written in his father's hand. Mum. He whispered. It's true. Here. Here are all our addresses. Everywhere we lived. How did he know them if he left us? It's fake, Eleanor shrieked. But her voice trembled. They faked it all. Old envelopes can be found anywhere. And is this also fake? Maria asked, and pulled the letter and photograph from her robe. This was in your jewelry box. Eleanor. At the very bottom. Under your beads. A letter that finally reached you. You hid it. But you couldn't throw it away. You couldn't. Maria handed the photograph to Liam. Here's you in your father's arms. And here's the inscription on the back. In your handwriting. Liam took the photograph. Looked at it for a long time. Turned it over. And read the faded inscription. Victor. Remember us. Liam and me. That's your handwriting. Mom. He said dully. I know your handwriting. Eleanor was silent. Cornered. She looked around desperately. I was trying to protect you. She finally choked out. I didn't want him to take you. He would have taken you from me. So he was a good person. Liam looked up at her. You said he was a drunk. He abandoned us. And now he would have taken me. So did he abandon us or would he have taken me? Make up your mind. Mom? Eleanor was gasping. You don't understand. I was young. I met someone else. I wanted to start a new life. And a child. A child would have bothered him. I took you away so that she stopped short. Realizing she had revealed too much, so that what Liam asked slowly. Finish it. Mom? You took me away from my father because you left him for someone else. You left him, silence. And where is that other person now? Maria added quietly. Where is he? Eleanor. The one who later left you, after 2 years. I believe Eleanor glared at her with hatred. How do you know that? From the neighbor. The same one who remembers Victor standing outside your windows. She remembers a lot. And then Eleanor broke. Yes, she shrieked. Yes. I left him for him, he was better. Richa. He promised things. And this one she waved towards Victor. Poverty. Misery I wanted to live. But that one. He used me and kicked me out with a child in my arms. What was I supposed to do when you came back? Victor said quietly to his son. And you told him it was my fault. What was I supposed to do? Eleanor was no longer in control. Say that I left him, that I was thrown out, so my son would despise me. No. Let him hate you instead. You're not worth pitying. The words hung in the air. Terrible. Raf. Liam looked at his mother as if seeing her for the first time. You're not worth pitying, he repeated. 28 years. For 28 years. You instilled in me that my father was a monster to cover yourself. You stole my father from me because of your shame. I raised you, Eleanor wailed. You raised me on lies. Liam cut her off. Every day. And with those same lies, you're now kicking out my wife. Cheated. Walked around you made everything up. About her. Just like about Dad. I only just realized. He turned to Maria. And in his eyes was so much guilt that she looked away. I'm sorry, he said. I didn't believe you. But I should have. All these days. All this nastiness at the table. I'm sorry. Eleanor rushed between them, grabbing Liam's sleeve. Son. Don't believe her, it's all her. She brought this old man here, Liam. Liam gently removed her hand. Calmly. Without anger. And that calm truly terrified her. You know. Mom? He said. Yesterday at this table, you told Maria. You're no longer part of this family. In front of everyone. Remember? Mom. Liam looked into her eyes. Well? You're not the family. The family is the person you hid from me for 28 years. And the woman you poisoned. And I, the fool, listened. He walked to his father, paused for a second, and hugged him awkwardly, heavily, like embracing something thought lost forever. The old man buried his face in his shoulder and trembled silently. Eleanor stood alone in the middle of the hallway, amidst the boxes she herself had prepared for Maria. Only now it turned out that she would be the one packing her things. And where will I go now? She whimpered, looking around. Liam. What about me? Liam looked at her over his shoulder. That, Mum, is your problem now, he said, using her own words. Every man for himself. That's what you taught us. He paused and added more quietly, but firmly. And give Maria back her passport. Right now. I know you took it. Eleanor flinched, opened her mouth and closed it. Silently. She went into the room, and a minute later brought out Maria's documents. They had been in her lingerie drawer all this time, under a stack of old scarves. Maria silently picked up her wooden jewelry box from the floor, the one with her mother's ring, pressed it to her chest, and for the first time in those terrible days, breathed freely. And the letter that Eleanor had hidden for almost 30 years at the bottom of her box now lay on the kitchen table, unfolded for all to say, and it could no longer be erased.